Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to my page. Welcome back to my platform. Welcome back to my channel. Wherever you're watching me, welcome back, you guys. We're back, day 42. We're going to be talking about some stuff, and I'm here for it, right? Um, all the things, all of the things. Okay, just checking my messages. I'm done, right? So I'm glad that you're here. Tonight, we're talking about God friends, not to be confused with good friends. So do me a favor right before we get started. Go ahead and like the video, share, follow, subscribe, do all of those things. That way, it helps push us out into the algorithm. I appreciate the effort that you expend, the energy that you expend. I appreciate the fact that you show up. Last night, we had an amazing group. The lights were coming in. I saw the blue arrows going out. Hey, ma'am, good to see you. I saw everybody that was just really locking in. I think last night was probably one of the best sessions I've done in a while. I think that's just that content just really spoke to my heart. It was one of those things that was near and dear to me. And so, yeah, I am thankful that you take time because we've been now, 48 days? 48 days because we're on day 42. So that's well over a month and a half. And you've been rocking with me the whole time, most of you. And I appreciate that. If you've only been a night or two, or you just kind of sporadically chime in, that's perfect as well. Maybe something that I share will spark something in your mind. Maybe there'll be some nugget that you tuck away for later. I'm very thankful for the Lord and what he's doing through me, through this work, through this platform. God is just a really good God all the time. I kind of had, I don't want to say a rough day because that's really not the truth, but I just had some moments of just, things that play in your mind. And I still always come back to God is good and he's faithful every single time, no matter what other people do, no matter what I do, God is always faithful. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the consistency that he shows me in my life. I'm thankful for that revelation that I understand that he's faithful. And I'm thankful that I can always run to the Lord when I don't have any other place to run to, right? I'm thankful that I can run to the Lord. But on today, I'm thankful that he sent me God friends, not to be confused with good friends. Some of us have good friends, and that's really perfect. But when you look at the relationships in your life, where do you categorize these people? Some of us have friends, right? Some of us have acquaintances. Some of us just have people we know. I don't want you in my business, but I know you. I could rock with you sometimes. But some of us have God friends, and they're very different. God friends are on a whole other level of friendship with you. And sometimes you can't pinpoint when they became God friends. You can't pinpoint how they even got in your life. You don't even know when it happened. It just happened. All of a sudden, there was a need and they stepped in, and you're like, this is only a work of Holy Spirit, because there's no reason we should even be friends at all. We shouldn't even know each other. We should not even be acquaintances. And so I'm very thankful for the God friends that I have in my life. I have several God friends. I have several people that God connected me just in a love relationship, a love friendship, just instantly. I can remember one of my friends named Chris. Chris is a sweetheart. Her and her husband are just amazing people. But when I first met Chris, my heart was knitted to hers immediately. And if I see her now, it's like we never skipped a beat. We don't see each other all the time. So Chris, if you watching, I love you, girl. She is just when I met her for the very first time eons ago, she was just connected to my heart. And there's one or two other people like that. Then I have good friends, people I could count on, people that I can go to if I need things, or if I need a listening ear or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I have good friends. They're going to be there. I know they are. I have friends that have become family, which is a whole other level of God's goodness, right? When you grow up without family, or when you grow up without close family, it's amazing when God gives you family that you were not born into. When Jesus he was teaching in the house, and somebody said to him, Jesus, your mother and your brother are outside and they want you to come out. He said, who are my mother and my brothers? He says, them that do the will of the Father are my mother and brother. So he absolutely looked past the blood biological relationship to those who were doing what God had ordained to be done. He said, these are my people. These are my mother and my brothers, all these people that are doing those types of things. And I have those relationships in my life, and I am extremely thankful. So if you'll do a favor, like the video, share, it just helps push us out into the algorithm. Again, that's what we want to do. We want people to hear the message of Jesus all across the world. And you just don't understand how your share takes it off of the page, right? I've shared in several places, but when you share, it pulls it up out of my algorithm and pushes it into a different algorithm. And so it just gets the message of Jesus Christ out. So I want to give you the definition for good. Good is to be desired or approved of, appropriate to a particular purpose. So it's only going to be for a particular purpose, for a specific thing, strictly adhering to or fulfilling all the principles of a particular cause, religion, or party. So it's situational. It's just for this specific time, right? In Proverbs 18:24, let me grab a Bible. I got about 50 back here. Let me just grab this one. Proverbs 18:24. I'm going to roll over there very quickly. I should have had it ahead of time. I'm sorry, y'all. Proverbs 18:24. Says, friends can destroy one another, but a loving friend can stick closer than family. So there are people in your life that can destroy you. They know everything about you. They know all your secrets. They know every little nook and cranny of your life. He said, but there are certain friends that will stick closer to you than a brother. And so those are the types of friends that I'm looking for. Those are the types of friends that are important to me. So when I was this particular excerpt, really, it was like a make or break moment. I had been having some writer's block and just really could not get my crap together. I knew I needed to get it together, but I was not in a position where I could get it together at that moment. I was like, Lord, I don't know about this. I knew the Lord had called me to write, but I just wasn't sure that I could get it all accomplished, right? So I was doing my level best with this block I was having. All of a sudden, the sun comes out, the stars are shining, or whatever the case is, and I was in a zone. So this project was really important to me. When it first started out, it was really for one specific person. Day 12 or day 78, when the Lord arrested my spirit and he said, we need to change this from one person to many persons. And I was like, okay, God, it really became important to me because God was going to use this word to be sent out across the world. Now, Shakima, nobody's really bought your book. I've had several sales. I've sold books. Books are getting purchased off of the platform that they're on. I'm getting royalty checks for those. But here's the thing. By me sitting here and going over it, and I'm putting it out to everybody in my spaces, my social spaces. When you share it, it's now in your social spaces. So who's to say where people are actually watching these from, right? I have people that watch from all across the world. I mean, literally all across the world. So I couldn't say to myself that God was not going to push this out into the world, because that is exactly what he has done. Right. So it morphed into what I thought, hey, Miss Ollie, it morphed into what I thought it should be, into what God wanted it to be. And that's where we want to be with the Lord, right? We don't, who of us want to just have something for us? God, whatever it is you want me to do, wherever it is you want me to go, whoever it is you want me to be with, God, just let me know that. And I'm going to do exactly those types of things. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It morphed into a gift God wanted to give the world. How horrified was I then when I realized that my sticky notes, and y'all, I had written out all my ideas for writing topics. I wrote those out on sticky notes, because when I started this project, I was actually handwriting it in books, in notebooks. I was handwriting painstakingly every day, writing stuff out. Things would just come to my mind and I was just writing. And it was like, okay, where are my sticky notes? These vibrant yellow sticky notes. They weren't even like, blue. They weren't pale. They were neon yellow. And I had written every one of the last 30 topics I needed to finish this book. And I could not find those sticky notes to save my life. Could not find the sticky notes. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I'm just getting my mojo back. I'm after this thing. I'm locking in. I'm not going out, I'm not answering the phone. I am locking in to write. And I cannot find my sticky notes. Y'all, I looked under the couch, under the bed. I looked on the floor. I looked in the trash. I looked everywhere that there was to look for these writing topics. And no, I'm not good like y'all. I didn't stamp a picture of it in my phone. I didn't write a backup note in my computer because I was handwriting this. I just simply wrote it on my sticky notes. And I'm telling you, horrified is not even the word. I don't even think there's a strong enough word for what I was feeling in my mind, because immediately I thought, I'm not going to be able to finish this because I can't remember the topics. And so here's the thing, right? It was like, okay, God, tell me what to do. Because I don't know what to do. I don't remember what I wrote down. I know I wrote it down, but I don't remember what I wrote down. What do you want me to do? And here's what the Lord said. He said, I want you to text some of your friends. So I sat down and I put together a group chat, everybody that I could think of. And it wasn't everybody in my phone. I have 948 contacts in my phone. It wasn't 948 people. It was a specific group of women. And I said this: hey, lovelies, I need one word or phrase that you would say describes me. I'm working on a writing project. No one knew about this except my sister and one other friend, and have misplaced my topic sheet. So having to come up with additional ideas as I asked the Lord to show me where the paper is or to give me supernatural recall of what was on it. So even though I was calling in the help, I was calling in friends, I was calling in backup, I was asking the Lord, God, you have to show me. And can I just say this? I want to say this because I don't think some people always believe me when I say this, but this is the gospel truth. The Lord shows me things. And I was asking him, I need you to supernaturally show me where this paper is because I don't know. I need you to either show me where it is or give me supernatural recall as to what I wrote. Because God, I need this to finish this project. You said, finish it. I got my mojo back and now I need to get moving. So I was asking him to help me, but I was also calling out friends. Faith without works is dead. I had the faith to believe that God would show me, and he did after the fact. So I believed that God was going to show me, but then I also had to put in work, put in time, put in messages and all the things like, y'all, I need your help. I had to call on the Calvary. I had to call my people. I had to call my friends like, y'all, help Shakima out. I said, no rush or expectation. If you think of something, I would appreciate it. If not, no worries. I'm writing over the next 30 days of a 90-day project. So anytime you get something to share, that would be great. This is a group text, so please respond to me only in a new thread, as some folks don't like being caught up in the loop. Love y'all. And that's what I said. And here's the thing. Everybody has that friend. What friend are you talking about, Shakima? I'm talking about me. You have me who interrupts your life. You are living, doing all the things. You are, life is just moving on. You have all this stuff going on. And then you have this friend who just comes in. She interrupts your day. She interrupts your timeline. She interrupts everything about what you have going on with her emergency. It's really her crisis because she didn't pre-plan. She just kind of expected herself to make sure everything was in line and it was all going to work out. There are things that happen, right? And it didn't work out. But now the emergency that she has is now your emergency. Her crisis is your emergency. And so I was trying to give them an out like, you guys, okay, not like I don't need it today, but whenever you get around to it, like today, but I got the next 30 days. But if you can get to it today, like they know me, right? Okay, these are my people. And so again, I was trying not to make my crisis their emergency, but I was asking them for their help. And so I was thankful that these ladies actually took time. I think there might have been 10 to 12 ladies that I had sent something to, because I thought at least that would get me through, right? That would give me another 10 to 12 days that I could write. And I could still be looking for my paper. So every lady that was on that list, with the exception of 2 ladies, I had met on another platform. I had met out in social media spaces. Some people have said that people you meet on the internet are not real people. I want to debunk that and say that all the people that I have met on the internet are real people. I've been on vacations with these people. We've been to retreats together. We've been to church together. We've been to dinners. I've met people from all across the world. And it's been a blessing to me. Some people I haven't met in person, but we've done either a Google Meet, a Zoom, a chat, or FaceTime, or something of that nature. And it's just been a total blessing to be able to connect with those people. So don't let people say to you, hey, that's not a real, people on the interweb are not real. People on the interweb are real. I'm real. I believe that some of you are real. So you can form real relationships. Now, I'm just going to say you have to vet those relationships for sure. You got to vet those people, but these are people that I trust in my life. And these are beautiful friendships. These beautiful ladies, all these things, I'll share about them a little later in a different entry, but I just want to talk about this one particular response that I got. So one of the ladies, she actually sent this, and I'm not gonna cry, y'all. I promise. Well, I'm not gonna promise because it's on Sunday. I don't lie on Sundays. Try not to lie any day, but okay. If I get emotional, it's just because this is meant something to me. So one of the ladies responded back, and I think everybody responded back something. And again, only 2 of these people were in my personal life. Everybody else I had met out in interweb spaces. So here I am, and I'm looking at my messages as I'm continuing to write, and the response says, my word is faithful. All the time, in every situation, you are faithful. And I'm really sure that at that moment, I did probably shed a tear or 3, because for somebody to say that about you, they have to know you some type of way. They have to know your character. They have to know something about you, have had to watch your life or see you follow through on certain things to be able to say that. They probably would have had to watch you do multiple things over multiple different days, months, years, weeks, all the things, just to really gauge faithfulness, because we can think that people are faithful, and we know that faithfulness is not always a guarantee. I'm married, but you out here cheating on me, you ain't faithful, and you want faithfulness from me, right? I'm supposed to show up every single time. Faithfulness is showing up every single time. Even the times that you don't want to show up, is showing up for the people you don't want to show up. It's showing up with finances that you might not have, but you're going to do your due diligence. And somebody had seen that character or that quality in me. I think when I go back and I think about the Proverbs 31 woman, she was all the things. She was so many things. And some people say that's not a woman, that's the church. And I get it, but we can aspire to be her. We can aspire. Every one of us have the wherewithal to have good character and good qualities about us. We do. We have all of those things, or we can have all of those things that she was and she is, because I believe that if she's the church is still alive. And I believe that she is those things. But see, I ascribe to those things in my personal life for real. And I just thought, how honoring is that somebody, and I was a single mom, recently divorced, struggling, trying to put food on the table, trying to take care of these kids, trying to do all the things that I knew I needed to be doing. And they saw through all of that. And the only thing they saw was faithfulness. I saw the struggle and she saw faithful. Right? Some people have just a very different perspective of you than you have of you. And I think that's kind of been what has been going on with me today. It's like I'm seeing myself as something else and nobody else sees that. I'm seeing myself through the struggle. I'm seeing myself through a situation that is not exactly clear at the moment. It doesn't have to be clear, but it's not. I'm just seeing myself different. And people are saying, you so faithful. My sister texted me today. She said, you okay? I'm just checking in. I said, I'm great. I'm good. Just needed, to have a few minutes with the Lord. I was like, was I off or something? Because people know you and they can recognize when there's something that is just kind of not ticking with who I know you to be. And this friend knew me to be faithful. And I said, you would think she and I have known each other for a long time. That's not true. We met at Taekwondo. So you would not even believe this, y'all, probably. Hey, Miss Wanda, I love you to the life. I love you to life, life, life. Okay. You would not even think this. So we met at Taekwondo. Two middle-aged women out there chopping and kicking and punching and carrying. We out there, karate chop. We doing all the things. Now, she went further than I did. I'm only a green stripe in Taekwondo. I have a black belt and I have a second-degree black belt. My kids, they live with me. And they'll come over here crazy because you will get this business. Okay. But I'm just a green stripe. I started doing Taekwondo. My kids were there 4 nights a week. I may as well just do a class too, just to get a little healthy. Started the start of my health journey. And I happened to be at a night class and I met Susie. And that's how we met. And she actually was going to the day classes and she talks about me being faithful. But can I just say that people like Susie are very rare? I was the only woman, I think, at the time taking a night class with all the guys that were there. And Susie, even though she lived far away, because Taekwondo was on my side of town and she lived far, she said, I'll come and take classes with you at night. She was taking morning classes. She was there like at 9 in the morning. I had to work, so I could only do in the evening. And she shifted her whole schedule just so I wouldn't be the only girl in the night class. My kids were taking and they were doing their thing. And so we were over here doing our thing. And she shifted her whole schedule just so she could be there with me. And we would chat about it. And she's just, I mean, we're both middle-aged. She's a sweetheart. I was doing my best. We just kind of connected, being the only girls in this class. And it just changed my whole life. You know, don't mess with Shaquem and Susie because it's not a thing. Don't mess with us. That's all I'm saying. But here's the thing that I could appreciate about Susie. Whenever my children and I needed something, Susie comes to my rescue. She really does. This was emergency in my writing, but there was so many times, I want to say so many times because I want people to think I use people. There were moments in my life when I needed something and Susie was there. I was a single mom. And so there was a time for a Taekwondo a tournament. And I was usually at every tournament, but I had a speaking engagement on this particular day and I had to travel. And Susie was going to the tournament because she was just going to support the kids. She didn't compete, but she was supporting the kids. And I was like, would you mind if my kids roll with you? Because I have to be somewhere and speak. I didn't want them not to go. And Susie was like, girl, just throw them in the car. We got it. It's fine. And she took my kids, you know, those types of things. Because as a single mom, like, I don't even understand. Like, I might be having a moment with dads right now. I might feel away. How is it that y'all is so, whoever has left, maybe not, I don't want to just say the dads because moms leave too, but how is it that it is so easy for y'all to just leave everything and everybody and just leave it all on one person? Like, when is that a thing? What is, because you over here struggling, trying to keep it all together and they just out there living. I mean, that's a whole nother level. I'm gonna move on. Whenever my children and I needed something, Susie was there. When I need a listening ear, Susie listens. When COVID hit and the supply chain was attacked, Susie made sure that we had a toilet paper. So we could not find toilet paper anywhere. And Susie was like, don't worry, I got it. You getting the package to your door. And she had somebody deliver to our door toilet paper, and not just toilet paper, but snacks for my kids. We had been locked in the house for months. We had some stuff, you know, we had what we had, but we didn't have all the things. And she made sure my kids were younger then. I think Jackson was 11 and Alana was about 16. They were just so much younger back then. And there are things you need when you're a kid. And I couldn't find them on my side of town, nowhere near. And she's like, don't worry, we got it. And she sent her friend to look for stuff for them. And then he came back with all the things for us. He brought meat, he brought snacks, he bought treats, he bought ham and toilet paper. And I was like, I can't find toilet paper anywhere. And she came through for us. One time I didn't have the money to do a getaway or a vacation. That was just very foreign to us. We did not grow up. I didn't grow up going on vacation. It was not a thing. I didn't take my first adult vacation until I was newly separated. I don't think I was divorced yet, but I saved up enough money to take my kids somewhere, and they were little kids then. Went to an all-inclusive resort. I think I paid $65 a night because I went on the off season and my kids had a blast. And from then on, I was like, oh, we can do this. I could save up $65 a night for 2 nights. I could just do that over time. And so we did that. But I didn't have money to go on a vacation. And Susie just happened to be going to Charlotte. My son wanted to go to what's that? Carowinds. He wanted to go to Carowinds, and I could get the tickets cheap through the credit union. And she was like, hey, I'm going to Charlotte. Y'all want to ride with me and just stay with me for a couple of days? And she dropped us off at Carowinds. She gave us a place to sleep. We had food. We had all the things that we needed. She's just that type of friend who will jump in with you. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't want anybody to think that that's not who I am. At that point in my life, that's what I needed. I am that friend now. Whatever you need, however I can help, however I can serve. I've had vacation places and invited families in, invited people in, did not expect a dime in return, provided all of the food. We're getting ready to have a huge Friendsgiving event at my house. I do it every year. And somebody was asking me, well, just let me know what I need to bring. Yourself. Just bring yourself. The kids and I, this is our thing. We are providing all the things. Just bring you. I don't need you to do anything else but that. And, you know, that was done for me. And now I return the favor. But this is just the caliber of the friend that God had sent me. Says, when I had a hiccup at the home improvement store, again, Susie came through. So I had purchased a refrigerator, and thank you so much, Miss Rose. Oh, thank you so much, Joshua. I appreciate that. I can recognize the name now. Thank you so much. So I had a hiccup at the home improvement store. I bought a refrigerator. They were supposed to have it delivered, couldn't get it delivered. Then they was had it there. They couldn't get it delivered. I mean, all this stuff. They finally got it. So Susie sent her friend to bring it over to me. But we went through so much rigmarole that they actually gifted me the price of the refrigerator, but they put it on the gift card. I don't need another refrigerator. I don't shop at Lowe's. Susie to the rescue. She's like, oh, I got that. We can use that in our business. She took the gift card with the money and gave me the cash. These are the type of friends that I have and that God has given me. And they're not good friends. These are God friends. And I know it sounds like Susie's always helping me out, but she taught me what it meant to step in the gap and help other people. I knew, but of course she showed me in action. Sometimes we want to be that friend, but we don't never show people. I want to emulate the behavior that I see, but I don't see anybody doing it. So how am I supposed to know what to do? And Susie was that. She was the hands and feet of God when I needed hands and feet in my life. And so I was like, oh my God, this can't be in. See, she's the type of person that I couldn't say anything except God sent her. I haven't prayed for any of these people to come into my life. And God knew what I needed, and he sent her. I'm not the person that asks for help. I'd rather help you. But God, who is rich in mercy, knows I will never ask. So he sent me Susie. Susie can hear me say something, and she's already on the case. Susie can just look around, and she's on the case. I needed to paint my living room before a church was coming in to help put some flooring down. Here in walks Susie. I'll help you. I'm good at trim. I'm good at trim work. I'll help you paint. I had sent out a message to ask other people would they help. Nobody was available. Susie was here. I'll help you, girl. Yeah, me, Susie, and the kids. We got a little paint on the ceiling, but guess what? It's okay. It'll be all right. We got it done. And I was so thankful for her friendship. I'm more thankful for her friendship than the things she's done for me, but I'm thankful for the things that she's done for me, because in those things, I'm able to tell people this was a God thing. This wasn't just a Susie thing. And I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, and I might be. I don't even know what her decision for the Lord is. All I can tell you is that when I needed help, Susie was there. Susie feels my pain. She celebrates my successes. She offers a shoulder to cry on when I need it. Susie gives me a safe space to be me. She does not look at me and say, well, you should be over this by now. You above this and you supposed to be a woman of God. And why you still worrying about this stuff? And she don't do any of that. Susie just lets me be Shakima. And this might sound like she's a good friend, but Susie's more than a good friend. She's a God friend. Ephesians 3:20 and 21 says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly all that we could ask, hope, or dare to dream. And we always associate that with money. But I tell people quite often that there are people in my life I never could have dreamed. And I never could have dreamed Susie. I never could have dreamed a person who, no matter what I was doing, she was always there to support. Now she's got a few other things that she has to take care of, so I don't see her as much. But if I need something, I had got stuck at, I was coming back in from Texas on a particular airline, which I will not be taking again because they was out here wilding. And I got stuck in Charlotte. We got on the plane. And then as soon as we got on the plane, they told us to get off. And there was not another plane out of Charlotte to get to my destination until 11 o'clock the next night. Now I'm only 4 hours from home. I could get a ride, but I can't find there's no rental car. There's nothing. So I ended up diverting my flight to Myrtle Beach. And Susie was on my list. Susie and my coworker. And I texted both of them. I said, listen, I know this is so inconvenient, but can anybody pick me up from I just need to get home. I've been in that airport so long. I had been there over 23 hours. I'm like, I just need to get home. Can anybody help me? And here comes Susie. Girl, did you get picked up? I'm just seeing your message. Where you at? I got, she was on her way. As inconvenient as it would have been for her life, she was there for me. And can I promise you, that's a God thing. That's a God person. And when we see people in our life, you better look at the folks around you and ask, who sent you? Because the enemy can send people too, just to mess with you. But there are moments, probably more moments than we care to count, because sometimes we're not thankful that God has put a person in your life. And I am so thankful. And I'm not telling you Susie's my only God friend. I have multiple God friends, but I am thankful, ever so grateful that she was there and has been there and still is there. Susie was sent by God just to be my friend. She didn't have to give me anything. She doesn't have to do anything for me. Just her presence in my life is enough. At this point, I've grown beyond that single mom. I'm still a single parent, but I've grown beyond that single mom that couldn't figure things out, that needed lots of help. I've become a person who has helped, but it didn't matter to Susie. Didn't matter who I was. She didn't look at me and go, oh, she's just a single mom. She's worthless or whatever the case may be. I have another friend. His name is Scott. This will make me cry for sure. Heaven help me. I have a friend named Scott. Scott actually was my real estate agent when I got my home. He actually helped my sister get her home. And she was like, look, I know a guy that can help you. Scott loved the Lord, and he might help you on a Sunday, but he going to church first. He come after church. So we connected. And little did I know, I don't even know what it is about this Taekwondo place, but little did I know that Scott's daughter and my daughter ended up taking Taekwondo together at the same place. I didn't know him before he became the real estate agent, but then I figured out, oh my God, we both figured out, oh my God, my daughter and your daughter, they take Taekwondo together, and became the quickest of friends, the fastest of friends. Now Scott is married to Jennifer, and Jennifer is my friend. But Scott would take Taekwondo too. And so sometimes we'd be in the same class. And so he's my real estate agent. His daughter's my daughter's friend. His wife is my friend because I love her and she's great and amazing. And Scott was my friend. So one year around Christmas time over in Wilmington, they have something called our Airlie Gardens, where they do the lights and you can go and you can do the lights. I did not afford to go to Airlie Gardens at that time. My kids were really, really young. And Scott had some tickets and he said, hey, I want you and your kids to come. It was just a beautiful thing. My kids never would have gotten to go any other time. It's not a big thing that we do around here for our traditions. We hadn't done a whole lot when they were smaller because I just didn't have the money to do it. But Scott invited us and I was very thankful that he did. And so we're just out there doing stuff. Multiple families are out there. And so there was a picture taking booth. And Scott told my kids to come in with him and his family, and he would take pictures with them. I didn't get in the picture. I just stood outside. And one of the other moms said, they're not supposed to be in there. This is just for families. And imagine, first of all, the horror, because I don't have a husband, right? See, I'm tired of it. I am tired of apologizing for not having a husband. At that time, I was done apologizing for not having a husband. I wanted a husband then. I want one now, and I don't have one. I can't apologize for that. I don't know why the Lord is tarrying. He is tarrying, but I believe that I believe he is not unto coming. He is not unto coming. And so I am standing there, mind you, the only Black family that is in this group. Not that that has anything to do with anything, but it has everything to do with everything. And I looked at the lady. First of all, I'm trying to keep my composure because she is like this close to a cuss out. And I'm saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, fire baptized with the evidence of speaking in tongues. But I'm about to get her straight. And I looked at her because she felt the type of way that my children were in that family's photo. It wasn't her family, but she was upset. And I looked at her and I said, he invited them into the picture. That was as much as I could say, because if I said any more, I was really going to lose myself. And I did not want to have to go back and apologize for something that I was about to let my lips loose to say. But those are God friends who will see the fact that you are missing something. My kids didn't have an opportunity to take a picture with their dad. And Scott stepped in and he said, no, I'm not letting these kids not have this opportunity. Y'all come in and be in my family. And many, many years since my kids, we've stopped taking Taekwondo when the pandemic and all that. So we haven't been since then. Well, we did go back, but we had some other issues. But we stopped, and I don't think they take much anymore either. But many times since then, there have been Christmas messages and on the anniversary of me buying my house, he'll send a card out, or they'll invite us over for dinner or whatever the case might be. We're friends. It's a God type of situation because God knew that there were going to be moments that I was feeling like dirt lower than because I didn't have a father for my children. And here he is in his goodness and his mercy that will send somebody in to just kind of fill the gap. Just fill the gap. And I've been able to see Scott in different situations over the years. And when we meet up, it's just like, oh my God, Shakima, he follows me on Facebook. His wife follows, and we just kind of, I just texted them for Friendsgiving, all the things. But these are God friends. They're not just there to see what they can get from me. They're there to help me fill in the places and spaces that have been empty in my life for so long. And we look at people crazy thinking that we're out here to get something from somebody else, not realizing that we had a need. And it is okay to have needs because God is going to fill. The Bible says, and I shall supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory. And we still always attribute that to finances. It's always finances. Their daughter, I think she turned 21, little Ava, she's big Ava now. She turned 21 and they took her out to the fondue restaurant type thing. And guess who they invited? Myself and my kids. My kids had never had that experience before. It just wasn't something that we done. I didn't grow up doing fondue. It was a total new thing to us. And they included us in that. That's a God thing. Let me give them an experience they might not necessarily have any other time because I can. You understand what I'm saying to you? Okay, I'm going to move on because I got to go. Susie was sent by God just to be my friend. Sounds a little off to anyone who doesn't have an intimate relationship with God. In the song, Great is Thy Faithfulness, Align says, all I have needed, Thy hand hath provided. And God has been faithful to me and mine ever since I can remember. I don't have one story where God didn't show up for me. I was in here praying a little earlier and I said, God, you know where I am in this situation. And I just need you to show up. And every time I prayed that prayer, God steps in and he shows up. And I am telling you that I am so in awe of the Lord. I keep wondering to myself, why do I keep having these thoughts? Because Shakima, every time he shows up, what is for me is for me. What he promised is not going to go unanswered, because he does not keep his promises. He keeps them every single time. The God I serve, all the needs I have, his hands provide. Not one need that I have ever had he hasn't considered and already made the arrangements. He's made the arrangements for me. He's had somebody to step in and say, you know what? I'm not sure. I watched a movie. It's called Steps of Faith. I'm not sure if it's still playing on Netflix or whatever, but I saw it on PureFlix or Netflix, one of them flicks. But it was called Steps of Faith. And this girl was praying about something. The Lord had given her a thing to do. And she wanted to go to this place. She wanted to leave her job and go to this place. She felt like the Lord was calling her. And so she said, Lord, if this is you, now I don't ask God for signs, but she says, Lord, if this is you, I need one more sign. And so that day at work, because she was an accountant in her role, her character, she said, her boss came in and he said, I need you to write a check for $1,000 and I need you to send it to this place called Steps of Faith. It was a horse ranch. And he said, I don't know why I don't know why, but somebody called this morning and was asking for donations. And hey, listen, I need you to send them $1,000. And she looked at the sky and she said, Lord, I know it's from you. And she knew that God was calling her to that place. Let me tell you, God is always going to have a ram in the bush for you. He's going to always have a ram in the bush for me. I don't know about anybody else. I know that I know God on a very personal level. And because I know him on a very personal level, I can be personable with him. I can go to him with any situation that I'm having. And usually he's either going to give me the answer, the strategic plan to get the answer, or he's going to send somebody. And I don't even have to tell the person anything. It's just going to show up. And I'm thankful for that. He does not ever lie. Cannot. And it's a good thing. I feel so honored that God would send me God friends. I feel very honored. I'm the oldest of 7 children, but I'm my mother's only child. And when you grow up as an only child, the eldest of 7, but you're lonely, it's just hard. I grew up by myself. I grew up on my own. All of my siblings have other siblings. So all the other 6 siblings have siblings. It was just me in my mom's house, just me. And my mom was too busy doing other stuff. She didn't have time to be with me. So I'm not blaming her. I'm just telling our story. So I grew up by myself, alone. I was smart. And back then, when I was growing up, if you were smart kids didn't have friends. So again, alone. How gracious of God to send me exactly what I needed in my life at the time that I needed it. I never thought I would have friends. The only friend that I ever had was my cousin. She was 3 years younger than me. And I remember it like it was yesterday. September 2001, I'm in my house, entertaining the youth pastors, frying up some food, getting ready to have all the things. I get a phone call. She's been killed in a car accident. The only friend I ever had in my life. And now I'm really by myself. I'm married, but I'm married to a man who doesn't want to be married to me. I'm in the marriage alone. And all these many years later, God said, Shakima, I'm going to give you beauty for your ashes. And he sends me people in my life that love me just because, that help me just because. I don't know what the reward is for them, but I do know that I ascribe to be them. You were the gap filler for me. God, who can I fill the gap for? Now that I'm able, Who can I fill the gap for? And so I step in where I'm needed whenever the Lord gives me that opportunity. And I'm so very grateful. And to those friends, and to those, to have those friends recognize faithfulness within me was just a thing. Acts 17:28. This, I think, is my last scripture. Acts 17:28. Acts 17 verse 28 says, "Certainly we live, move, and exist because of him. As some of your poets have said, we are God's children." It is within God that I live and move and have my being. That's another translation. I love the Lord with everything that I love God with everything that I have. And I love him because when my dad left, he was there. I love him because when that first man took my body when I was 5 years old, he was there. And I loved him when the next person came and took my body at 10 years old, he was there. And I loved him when I got pregnant as a teenager by that person, he was there. I love him because when I got talked about, he was there. I love him because when I married a man I thought would love me but found out he didn't, he was there. And I loved him when that man left because he needed to be over there without me to be happier in his best self. He was there. I just love the Lord. And God has taken care of me every single step of the way, myself and my children. There's not one good thing that he has withheld from me. Not one. And I know I've prayed and I've asked God for a husband. I've prayed that prayer. He just hasn't answered yet. Doesn't mean he's not going to. I believe he is. I honestly believe that he is. I just trust God with my very life. I'm grateful for him every day, every hour, every minute. He loves us so much that the smallest things to us sets his grace and mercy into motion on my behalf. I was in a time in my life, in a space in my life when I needed friends, and God showed up. When I needed a gap filler, and God showed up. And the thing that I want to articulate, I'm trying, sometimes I do it poorly, but I want to try to articulate this. If God could do it for me, why could he not do it for you? Because I believe that he can do it for you. I believe that he wants to do it for you. I believe that it's his good pleasure to do it for you. But you got to know him. So every night before I leave, I ask the same question: do you know him? And y'all, I've been in some tough situations. I've been in some hurtful situations. I've been in some situations I've caused, and I've been in some situations other people have caused, and I get it, right? It's been tough, but there's not been a time that I needed something or someone that God didn't send the answer. He always sends the ram. There's always a ram in the thicket waiting for me, even when I'm about to sacrifice something that I love very dearly. And I'm so thankful that God is like that with me. Susie is not just my only God friend. She's not. There are too many God friends to name. I told y'all, Scott, I could name a ton of people. They each play a different role in my life, and I'm grateful for them all. He will do for you just what he did for me. Send you God friends that both enhance and enlighten your life. But again, you have to know him, right? He responds to the cries of his children, just like you respond to the cries of your children. If you have biological children, if you have stepchildren, if you have adopted children, if they're your children, when they cry, you respond. And he's the same way. But you have to know him. And if you don't, you can know him very intimately. You can know him personally and privately. And you can even know God out loud. I try to know God out loud. This morning we had worship and we were singing a song by Todd Delaney and Shayna Wilson Williams. And I was leading the song, and I'm just telling you, that thing caught me up. And I just there was such emotion that I didn't know how to, I just had to sit after I got done singing. And even Pastor called us back up to sing. We had already taken our seats, but he called us back up to sing again. And so I was standing in a different spot and I sang and I did what I had to do, but I got sat back down and I just had to have a moment with the Lord. And my friend Amanda, who sits behind me, I sit on the front row because the Holy Ghost might fall. I need to be right up there. My friend Amanda, she just rubbed my back. She just began to, just that personal contact that said to me, I'm here, right? I'm here for you. I hear you. I know what you're going through. And maybe I don't even, but I'm hopeful that this contact, just me putting my hands on you, make you understand or feel what God feels when you cry out to him. God wants to bless you both with good friends and God friends. And I'm telling you that it's a thing. I love you guys. I appreciate you all coming and hanging out with me. I know sometimes I get a little emotional, but you have to understand the journey. You don't have to understand the journey that I've been on. I know the journey that I've been on. And maybe it's not for everybody to understand. But I promise you that God is not a respecter of persons. I can't tell you how he'll do it, but I can tell you that he will do it. He did it for me, somebody that did not feel worthy of any love at all in my life, because nobody ever loved me in my life. And he saw fit to love me. He loved me so much, he sent his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have eternal life. When this earthly body is done and I give it up, I still have a place that's promised to me. And the foolish thing, it's not even foolish. It's such a wish, a hope, a goal, a dream, is that I'm not the only one who gets in. I want you to get in too, but you got to know the Lord. And some of us don't know him. It's not about getting baptized. That's good. And that's a sign. All that's perfect. It's about asking him into your life. Like, you want to go together? God, I can't wait till somebody asks me, you want to go together? It's just that simple. And that's the time when intimacy can start. Because some people want intimacy without relationship, and it's not a thing. I mean, it can be a thing, but it's not lasting. It's temporary. It's that brief moment of euphoria, and then you go right back to being in your right mind, and you're like, oh, was that all? Okay. But this intimacy that I'm talking about with the Lord can last forever, and it lasts into eternity. And I want that for you. I want that for all of y'all. And so the only way to get that is to know him. So if you don't know him, make tonight the night. Listen, tonight is the night that you make me a woman. Bet it right. Okay, whatever you got to do, Lord, tonight is the night. I'm ready. And I don't want you to miss it. Y'all join me tomorrow night when we talk about my desire. My desire is to be a wife of noble character. That's day 41. I want you guys to join me for that. I'm never going to stop talking about being a wife. Even when the Lord wifes me with somebody, I'm still going to talk about it because it's my portion, right? Somebody said one time, all you do is talk about marriage. Marriage is my portion. It's what God has given me to talk about. And so I talk about it quite often. And I'm believing that the Lord is going to send me the man that's going to find me to be that missing piece in his life. And I'm thankful for that. So anywho, join me tomorrow night. Day 41, wife of noble character. Y'all, we about to be out of these 40s. I'm feeling it. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Bye now. Like, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things. Love you guys.